Endurance Junkie Podcast, episode 68. Hey Junkie, thanks for joining me on a new episode of the Endurance Junkie Podcast, the show where I will be interviewing some of the fastest, smartest and most inspiring people active in the endurance world today. Ben and Jacqui Allen are an athlete power couple who travel the globe racing off-road triathlons. The pair got married earlier this year, but that hasn't slowed down their racing and traveling one bit, as we will soon find out in this interview. Alright, hi Jacqui, Ben, thanks for coming back on the show. It's a bit of a first for me. It's the first time I had two guests on at the same time, so thanks for being my first threesome. And the first time I have return guests, so yeah, how have you guys been?
Yeah, very well, thanks, Peter. It's great to be part of the threesome, and a lot's happened since we last spoke, but we look forward to indulging in all things B&J Racing.
Yeah, some things have changed, some things haven't. You're still traveling the world and living the dream, racing off-road triathlons all over the place. You're not getting tired of that lifestyle yet?
Not yet. It's hard to get tired when you visit so many amazing countries and get to see summer all year round.
Is that the main thing that keeps you going?
I think so, yeah. I think while we're still young and while we can do it and while we're still racing pretty well and we can live this lifestyle, then we just think to ourselves, why not make the most of it for as long as we can?
Yeah, good stuff. One thing that has changed is that, you both got married. Congratulations on that. Jacqui, I'm hoping that Ben was the one who proposed.
Yes, definitely. I don't think I would have proposed, actually. I'm a little bit traditional like that, so I was just waiting for the moment. But after a busy season of racing, Ben planned a surprise holiday to Bali, which was I didn't know where I was going until we got to the airport, but I didn't really think too much of it. Ben always surprises me with a lot of things, so I just thought we were going away for an end of season break and a lovely holiday. And pretty much on the last day we were there, I think he finally plucked up the courage and we went for a jog on the beach. And we got down on one knee and proposed, and I didn't actually believe him at the time. I told him to get lost and don't be silly until I finally saw the ring. I saw the ring then, and I realised he was serious, and obviously, of course I wanted to marry him, so it was good.
Yeah, you were expecting it or not?
No, definitely not, actually. Some might say, oh, really? Like people, our friends say, oh, we kind of expected it. We knew you'd come back engaged. But for me, I didn't expect it at all. And I actually felt sorry for Ben because every day he must have been worrying about where he should propose and if it was the right day, if it was the right time. So I think he was probably nervous for the whole of the holiday. And I was just... had no idea really.
No, it's pretty special. How do you get it organized when you're traveling all the time?
I suppose I had it organized for about 6 months or so. I'd go around and visit the local jewelers and try and find a ring that was suitable that I'd like, that I'd know that Jacqui would like. And I had a grand plan. It wasn't just a spur of the moment thing. I sort of tried to plan it out as best I could, and I'd organised flights and accommodation, and it's part of what we do as athletes, travelling to and from races. So I have a bit of expertise in that sort of field, and it was one of the things that I kind of wish I had done it at the start of the trip, and that way I maybe could have enjoyed the holiday a little bit more. But I was sitting on the edge of my seat every day just thinking about it, and I actually planned a romantic dinner to make the proposal, but I woke up in the morning and the sun was shining, and something just struck me, and I knew I had to do it, like then and there type thing. So obviously being athletes, we went for a jog along Kuta Beach, and we found a nice quiet spot watching the sunrise, and got down on one knee. And the funny thing was, the whole run I was just thinking about what I was going to say, and I think I had it planned out. So obviously I got down on one knee and went to ask Jacqui, and then she sort of didn't believe me at the time and sort of slapped me and said, "What are you doing? Don't be silly," and threw my chain of thought off. So I completely stuffed that up, and I think I ended up just mumbling out, "Will you marry me?" and got the ring out, and obviously, she said yes, which was a bonus. I would have been heartbroken, but no, it was a special moment, and I'm glad that I get to spend the rest of my life with the person I love.
And it's awesome, great story. Let's talk about racing. So last time we spoke was a couple of weeks before Maui 2014. I think Ben, you went on to grab a bronze medal there, and Jacqui finished in the top 10. How has racing been since then? A couple of highlights maybe.
Yeah, definitely some highlights and a lot of low points as well. Okay. I've certainly had a couple of years where I don't feel like I've really raced to my potential, and I know we'll talk about this later, but set up a coaching business when I was on a bit of a low then. But this last year, things have really come together for me, and I've probably had my best season this year to date. So I'm really excited to go into Maui and hopefully get back in the top 5 where I was when I first started the sport.
Okay, how about you, Ben?
Yeah, for me, it's been a bit of a roller coaster of a ride. Obviously, the main focus for this year was the wedding of Jacqui and I, which we got married in March, and it was really difficult having raced all season last year. And I don't know if you know, but we travel all year round. So we race the Australian summer, which then sort of continues on to the Europe and American summer. So we don't really have any time off, and we rely heavily on the prize money and our sponsor incentives, which are a godsend because it allows us to continue to live the dream and keep racing. I've had some mixed results up and down, but in saying that, it's the journey to where we go that makes it special. We've been to some pretty amazing places. Jacqui and I had the opportunity this year to travel to Tahiti for the first time, and my God, that place is a very beautiful and special place, and one that I've become to love, and I can't wait to get back there next year for the race. It's going to be even bigger than this year, but all things have been put aside in the past, and we're looking forward to the future, which we've only got a few days away from the XTERRA World Championships, where it's one of my favorite races, because it's a surf swim. It's in the heat, humidity, and I seem to thrive in those conditions.
Yeah. What motivates to keep you going? Like when you're in one of those low points, does it help then to have that special person next beside you to keep pushing you forward?
Oh, most definitely it does. To have Jacqui there and vice versa, for me to be there for her. We always, it's always hard to say the right thing at the right time, but I suppose we enable one another to give ourselves space to, I suppose, process, the downfall of what has happened, because ultimately, we race to win and we race hard, and when that doesn't pay off, it hurts, but it hurts in a way that we're able to overcome that with over time and really try and reset our mind to be able to stay focused and enjoy the moment and the journey to where we are and where we got to. You need to sometimes we become complacent, or sometimes we lose track of the journey, and that's the most special part of where we want to go and how we get there. It's the people that we meet, the places we get to go to are what makes it so special, and this sport brings the best out of yourself and out of meeting people and taking you off the beaten path. So it's good to have someone to sort of talk to about those situations, but then it's also good to have people in your team, like our family and our sponsors, who understand what we go through, and together we unite and become a stronger force to move forward in a more positive way.
Yeah. You think like one of you might have already called it quits if you wouldn't have been together?
Yeah, maybe. Probably more so me. I don't think Ben had ever quit. He's far too passionate and loves the sport way too much to quit. But I certainly have had a few low patches a few years ago when I set up the coaching business that I wasn't sure I wanted to continue racing. But, you ride the wave and you continue to train because that's what you love to do, and you find ways to make yourself better and to get through it. And, you end up coming good in the end. And I think sometimes athletes can be a little bit impatient with that and perhaps don't ride the waves and can call it quits a little bit too early, but we really weren't prepared to do that. And definitely having each other and definitely having the lifestyle has enabled us to carry on and hopefully continue getting some really good results.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Talk to me a bit about the coaching business. Jacqui, you started it?
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago, I think, when we were in Boulder. I was having a bit of a low patch with racing and was desperate for something else to keep my mind occupied. And I actually spoke with, I'm quite good friends with Leslie and Simon Marshall, who've also got a coaching business, and they've mentored me really into giving me the confidence that I had the knowledge to set up our own business. And here in Boulder a couple of years ago, I set up some information that I wanted and for the business, and then advertised it out to a few people, and I got about 5 people interested, and it went from there really. It was only meant to be very small, just something I could do on the side. But we've been really quite successful with it. And I think with having a lot of off-road triathlons now in Australia, we have a really good series called the Treks series run by Into Adventure. And we gained a lot of business from those races, which were our races really that introduce you to XTERRA. They're slightly easier, they're laps, slightly more friendly courses for athletes getting into off-road triathlon. And we just worked very closely with them as ambassadors, and we got a lot of people very interested in coaching because it was really something quite new in Australia, and people wanted specialised off-road triathlon coaching. So the business built from there, and both Ben and I between us now coach 25 athletes, and every day we speak with each one of them about their individual goals and personal challenges, and it just really motivates you. And I think it's made me a better athlete, it's made me a better coach, and we've gained some amazing friendships through our athletes. So it's been something pretty amazing really, and something I think we really want to continue passing our knowledge on to other athletes.
Yeah, so the XTERRA athlete is just your typical client?
Pretty much. I think that's mainly because we specialise in off-road triathlon. I think we've probably done about 80% of the off-road triathlons over the world, and when people want to train for a specific race, and we can offer them advice on, how to get there, the best hotels to stay in, the best travel and transport to take, what the course is going to be like. So we really specialise in that with all of our knowledge. However, we're definitely open to coaching any type of athlete. Our background from both of us is road triathlon, and we've done 70.3s, and Ben's done some long course. So we're not just specific to off-road. We are open to coaching any types of triathlon, but I think we can offer our clients a lot more when it comes to off-road XTERRA racing, because we can offer them a whole package.
Yeah, cool. Does the revenue that you get from the coaching business, does that take some of the pressure off the racing, that you might not rely as much on the prize money anymore?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I feel has really helped me this year. I said earlier I'd had some of my best results this year. I've had, I think, 2 wins and a second at World Champs and a second at Pan American Champs. And I've been able to actually limit my racing a little bit this year because of the coaching business, because of getting that income. And therefore, I've been able to really focus on having really good races at my chosen races, and I haven't had to feel like I need to go and race again just to scrape that little bit of extra prize money. So yeah, it's definitely helped, definitely supported, and I think it's definitely made me a better athlete as well.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame you didn't start it sooner.
Yeah. It was nice to live the real pro life for a couple of years though, and really do nothing in between training. So
well, you get your feet up and your laptop on you in front of you, so yeah, that's still rest now.
Yeah, pretty much. It's it works really well actually. Our athletes understand that we travel and we coach from anywhere around the world. We do try and take on athletes that we are going to see throughout the year. So, athletes that we're perhaps going to go to the same races too, so we can see them and at least meet up and socialise with them and do some specific training sessions before races. So we do kind of encourage that when athletes come to us, that they do some races that are on Ben and I's calendar. And that seems to work really well, and our athletes understand that they can get in touch with us now through, all these amazing apps that we've got, Skype and Messenger, and you can just send a message straight away and we'll get back to them. And our coaching business is very, very personal. Our relationships with our athletes are very personal. We speak a lot on Skype. We message a few times a week just to see how they're going, and they update all their information on Training Peaks, and we can review that whenever and wherever we are in the world. So it works very, very well for now with our lifestyle.
Yeah. So do you coach each other then, or are you working with another person for your own training schedules?
No, we have our own individual coaches that we work with. Guy Hamillion in France is who I work with. He's a well-known coach in France who's got a fair few athletes, and I've been under his watchful eye for the past few years, and it works really well. And Jacqui has her own coach, Alex Bulb, back in Australia that she works with. We kind of feel as though we need that's the person with the expertise and someone that can hold us accountable and keep us honest in order to be able to do the work. Although we are very self-driven and motivated athletes and people in general, we get the work done. It's more so just holding us back, because for me, I don't have a sort of an off switch to be able to continue to sort of slow down and keep myself well rested and in really good shape. So for Guy, he has more of a hard time trying to hold me back than motivate me to continue to keep pushing hard or go harder, as where Jacqui's very smart and calculated with her training and working with her coach. So we feel that works really well, and we've got a good formula that works well for us. But we don't train together. We've been down that path before. We'll probably end up divorcing one another if we did any sessions. But in saying that, we may start a ride or start a swim or run together or something, but then we've both got our own individual sessions that we'll go off and do, and after we'll either catch up for lunch or at a coffee shop or something. So we don't really get to see each other very much throughout the day, because we're off doing our own individual things, and we're sort of in and out, as you know, being athletes training for 3 different sports. But yeah, we've found the balance and we've found what works, and it's a really cool lifestyle.
Yeah, I can imagine that it keeps it healthy like that. So yeah, you're in the final build up to the Worlds in Maui there, which is this weekend, the upcoming weekend. What are your expectations going in?
Yeah, it's always hard to say at Maui. Everybody is there. Everybody's in the shape of their life. And it's actually in XTERRA the only opportunity where you get to race every one of the best athletes in the world. XTERRA is such a big sport worldwide, and there's an Asian tour, there's a European tour, there's an American tour, and each of the great athletes from each tour don't really ever get to race each other. People just stick to their tour. And especially with the qualifying for professional athletes, they just have to do one race a year. So there's a lot of athletes who will do one race to qualify and then perhaps go off and do long course triathlon or ITU or something. So we never actually, until Maui, get to race all of the best girls. So from that respect, it's very exciting, but it's very nerve-wracking because you've not raced them. You don't really know what their strengths are going to be on this course. So the only thing you can do really is prepare as best you can. And for me, preparing for Maui, it's just been a lot of strength training, a lot of hill running on very tired legs, a lot of hard riding in that zone 3, just because it's a very hilly, tough course in Maui. It's pretty much a time trial on your own. You've got to get through it yourself, and lots of long zone 3 riding with some hard efforts at the end of a 2 or 3 hour ride. Lots of hill running. Being here in Baldry, we don't really get to practice the ocean skills, but Ben and I do that a lot over the summer, so we're quite honed in on swimming in the ocean and those skills specific to that. So for me, I'm feeling really, really good. I'm really excited to get to the race, to get to the warmer weather. Expectations, I'd love to be back in the top 5, but like I say, there's so many girls from all different backgrounds. We've got Flora racing, who's ITU World Champion this year, Leslie Patterson racing, and there's I think there's a girl, I can't remember her name, but she was 3rd at 70.3 World Champs this year and won XTERRA France in her first race. So the competition's huge there, and I think you've just got to be prepared as best as you can be on the day, which I feel like I am. And hopefully I can be back in the top 5.
Yeah, cool. How about you, Ben?
Yeah, like Maui is such an awesome race, and it's an awesome race in terms of there's so many things that you need to deal with as an athlete to be able to overcome to propel yourself to perform to the best of your ability. Like you've got the ocean conditions, obviously. Yeah, everyone sort of doesn't really enjoy them as much as me. I love those type of conditions. You've got the heat, humidity you need to deal with that athletes coming from colder climates don't really know how to handle as well. And then you've got, like a grueling run to finish off with. But my expectations, obviously I'm very consistent there. I finished 3rd 3 times. I feel as though I know how to win the race, but putting that together on the day, you need a little bit of luck on your side, and I feel as though I haven't quite had that luck to enable me to get across that line first. But in saying that, I'm very optimistic and open-minded, and I'm just excited to execute my race plan as best as I can and stick to the process that I know that's worked. And just stay in the moment. That's the best thing. There's a lot of things that go wrong in the race. I've never had a perfect race there, but it's about handling those situations to the best of your ability and staying in the moment. And I think if you can do that as an athlete, you'll have a good race. And just like I said before at the start of the podcast, enjoy the journey to get there. The hardest part of racing is making the start line. Racing is the easy part. I wish I could race every day. That's what I love doing and I enjoy doing. But getting to that start line, there's always so many mishaps. Either crashing or getting sick, or there's a number of things. So just try and wrap, the hay's in the barn now, so to speak. So it's just a matter of wrapping yourself up in cotton wool. Just going through the motions still a little bit, just making sure your body is, fine tuning those there's race vibes and race efforts, and all guns blazing come World Champs.
Yeah. So do you got your own race plan in your head, or are you gonna try and race off guys like Maurizio and Ruben, who might be the favorites for the race?
Yeah, definitely. I don't really worry about anyone else. I can't really control what they're going to do. So, for me, I just try and focus on executing my race plan to the best of my ability. Obviously, a lot of the guys, we know each other's strengths and weaknesses, so that'll play into the race to a certain degree. But for me, coming from Australia, I grew up as a swimmer. So I have obviously everyone knows I have a competent swim, and that's pretty much, I've exited the water in the top echelon of guys the last couple of years, and I'll obviously use that to my strengths. And on the bike, it's about just staying in the moment, riding as hard as you can, and gritting your teeth to try and hang on to get to the end, and pretty much the run is just a battle of survival. It's about nutrition. It's about trying to really push as hard as you can up those hills as best you can in order to try and hang on till the very end. And the grueling part of the sport is that we've got a soft sand finish, so your legs are absolutely dead, but it really brings the best out of yourself, and you really know you're alive once you are running along that soft sand beach to get to that finish line.
Yeah. All right, good luck to both of you. We'll definitely try to follow the race live. I think it can be followed on XTERRA.com. Is that correct?
Yeah, XTERRA.com, and all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, they'll all have coverage of this sport. And it'd be great if everyone could give a shout out to Jacqui and I, and it'll help us get through that race and do our best on race day.
All right, we'll do. What are the plans for after Maui? Got a bit of a break, or is it back to normal racing?
Yeah, not really. We actually did our season a little bit different this year with having the wedding. We took a bit of a break mid-year, so we stayed in Australia during June and for half of July, and we took a little bit of downtime, and that was so we could be a lot fresher for the ITU World Cross Champs, which was in Penticton, which was in August. And then, so we could be a little bit fresher for Maui. So I think we've still got a little bit left in us this year. Once we get back from Maui, the Australian race season starts. So we're not going to put our feet up just yet. We'll be racing a 70.3 2 weeks after Maui down in Shepparton, Challenge Shepparton. And then we've got a couple of events in Australia, a cross triathlon down in Bendigo, ran by Into Adventure, and also XTERRA Australia early December. So we've still got a little bit of racing left. And then we'll be taking a break around Christmas time in January, where we've got a family holiday, and we'll be heading back to Bali with Ben's family, and my mum's also coming over. So we'll be taking a break in January, and then planning next season from then onwards.
Yeah, well, definitely curious to see how it turns out that you get that longer break over summer here, and how that's going to affect performances in Maui. So, it might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thanks guys for catching up. It's been fun. How can people get in touch with you?
We've obviously got a new website up and running, B&J Racing. Or you can contact both Jacqui and I via Twitter or Facebook. Twitter, Benny Allen, and Twitter for Jacqui is Jacqui Slack.
Yeah.
Obviously, she needs to change all those media to the Allen, but we're sort of going through that process at the moment. Either message us on Facebook or give us a shout out and we'll get back to you. But it's been awesome to catch up with you, Peter, and we really appreciate the support and look forward to the XTERRA Maui World Champs coming up in the next couple of days.
Cool stuff. Yeah, feel free to give some love to your sponsors.
Yeah, we've got an amazing support network of people behind us that really help us do what we love, giant bikes, on running, champion systems,
Flight Centre,
sports and events, XTERRA wetsuits, Gripper laces, Jacqui.
Yeah, Live Cycling for me. I'm on the Live version of giant bikes, and they've supported me for the last few years. So yeah, we've got some really great sponsors, and we've had those sponsors for a long time now, and really appreciate everything they do for us. Without their help and support and the best equipment that they offer us, then we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, we've got Funky Trunks, Stages, Cycon, Red Industries, Newzest. These companies are amazing, and if you guys could support them, we'd appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, I'll put up the links on the show notes page, no problem. Anything else you want to plug?
No, that's about it. Yeah, thank you very much, and keep it in the fast lane.
All right. Well, thanks for the time, guys, and good luck in Maui.
Thanks you.
A lot,
Thanks.
Pete.
Cheers. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode with Ben and Jacqui Allen. If you're into XTERRA Racing and off-road triathlon, and you're looking for some guidance or some coaching, do get in touch with them. They know their stuff firsthand, and they'll be happy to help you out. All right, as usual, if you like these little interviews and don't want to miss any future episodes, head over to iTunes or Stitcher and subscribe to the show. And if you're at home sitting behind your desktop or on your laptop, head over to the website junkiepodcast.com for all the archives, show notes pages, and a couple of small teasers for the upcoming shows. All right, thanks again for listening, and I hope you'll join me next time. Cheers.